Hello and welcome to Linux Docs video weblog. I realise this is a bit different. This is breaking from tradition. Traditionally, you're supposed to have an American accent and talk about data and things like that. And basically, yeah, we talk about it anyway. We're not going to do it like that because I'm English and this is the English way of doing things. So, right, today what we're going to do is change the IP address of a switch. Not just the IP address but the actual subnet that it's on. Basically, set the scene. You've got your Cisco switch nicely configured. You want to move it for some reason. I mean, classic example is, right, if I go to terribly insecure, these things, this thing is obviously protected. It has got access lists and things on it, but even so, very basic. Just basic authentication will get you to this page if you haven't got any access lists defined. On here you can do things like you can show tech support, the display information commonly needed by tech support, and if you look at this, you'll find that there's quite a bit of stuff in here, including, right at the top, this. That's right, the entire config of your router in plain text. It does remove the passwords and the secrets, luckily, but even so, there's a lot of information here. We can see we've got access lists defined and various other things defined. Right, but what we've done here with this switch is we've made a cardinal mistake, and that's with the subnet that it's on. 192.168.0 as a subnet isn't technically good to be used. In practice it's okay, but things start to get a bit iffy when you start dealing with layer 2 and layer 3 on switches, because 192.168.0 is the network address for the entire class B network of 192.168. So 192.168.0.0, which is the network address, obviously, of the class C subnet of 192.168.0.0/24, that one. And that is also the identifier for that one. So what we should really be using is .1 all the way up to, obviously, 254, 255 being the broadcast address. So obviously if we're using 255, then that would be the broadcast address for both the class B network and the class C network, because when you start dealing with layer 2 and layer 3, what it starts doing is it deals with it byte-wise or bit-wise, so that just gets forgotten, and when you start using .0 you start referring to an entire network by mistake. So what we want to do is, say, move our switch from .0.5 to a different subnet, and incidentally all of this now is pretty, it doesn't really matter with the advent of classless internet domain routing, CIDRs and things like that, but it's good practice, and like I said, things can go wrong further down the line when you're dealing with spanning trees and VLANs and various other things across multiple networks. So say we want to change it to the subnet of 25. Right, we've got all of our config in here relating to .0.5. It's going to be a pain in the ass to go through and change everything. So is there an easier way? Well, yes, there is. For the switch itself, obviously you will have, or you should have, somewhere a TFTP server. So here we go, we can see I've only got one switch, so I've only got one thing in the TFTP, and here we have our running config and default running config, which should be hopefully the same, you would think. Which they're not. Okay. Never mind. Right, let's just have a look at that. Hopefully without any passwords or anything revealed. Okay. So here, as we can see, it's our config. So if we're moving the entire thing, what we can do is we can just change the config file on the TFTP server. So it just becomes as simple as, let's just okay, that's strange because the timestamps are the same in the heads of both of the files, but anyway, I guess the default running config is the one that yeah, will deal with our running config. So what we can do is we can just use good old sed stream editor and sed -I, which puts it in inline mode, and then we just have to generate a regex. So S for search, and let's go for 192.1. I don't think we have to escape the dots. If we do, then we'll soon find out. .0. And we'll replace that with 168.25. And G is just global, so that means if there's more than one instance of it, it will do more than one instance, and then just specify the file name, and it should, he says. See, before we do that, all I'm going to do is just Okay, so got a backup of everything now. In TFTP old. So if we go back to our set command, and running config, and that's it. So now if we have a look at the running config, we should see in here now so IP name server, DHCP server, our VLANs, IP default gateway. So also changed any access lists as well, obviously, that we have with them, but left other ones preserved. So there we go. There is the easy way to change the IP address of a switch. Obviously then you just reboot and tell it to boot from TFTP. Either that, or you can just, this is, I hate this telnet. Or we can just do a copy and we can use SCP, we can use TFTP. To flash in this case I've made a right mess of it because it's config.txt, isn't it? Or, anyway, that's what you would do. So here at the end of our first lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you haven't fallen asleep, and look forward to more tips that can save you time and more sysadmin foo. Until next time, happy typing.